And below there are several other options. One is to where to save the file to. So in this case, I'll just put it in the root folder, so the top level of my Google Drive area, but you can obviously pick any other folder that's in there. So quite a few available. Unfortunately, it doesn't list them out it finds all the folders, but it doesn't list them out in any kind of structure to show which one is nested within which other folder. So you'll have to kind of know which one is which. I'm going to look that up in advance. There's also advanced branching. And I've put a couple of examples in here already, but basically you have to pick one of your questions and then say whether it's going to be equal to something, not equal to something, contain something, greater than something. A couple of different options in there for you. And in this case, I said if the favorite subject is equal to math, then move it to this temp folder instead of the root. And if it's equal to social studies, then put it in temp also. But I didn't have to. I could have put that in any folder just randomly. Okay, but the idea would have been to create a folder structure prior and then to be able to move those things into it. Okay, also there's a naming convention. So when it creates this PDF, it has to give it a name. I'm going to call it Active 1 dash space. And then choose the last name field. So it'll say Activity 1, the last name that is submitted through the form. I've also chosen to append a number at the end so that if there are multiple submissions, they'll simply be numbered. Okay, so I can save this. And if I went on to PDF2, I would get all of the same settings. So here I could turn it on, which I've already done. I can put all sorts of text down here. I can insert data from the form up here. I can do advanced branching if I want to tell it where to save. I must tell it where to save by default. So I'll put that at the root folder as well. And naming convention, etc. So I'll leave the default for now and append the email to the end. And that's it. Now I will have two PDFs that are generated when somebody submits a form. Let's go on to the last part that we're going to look at, which is email settings. Now you can see that you can generate up to 4 different emails from a form submission. First thing you'll have to do is turn them on. So email 1 is now on, although 2, 3, and 4 are not. So you have to do them individually. Now it's asking who would you like to send these things to. So one way you can send information is simply to pick the email that was submitted. And then it will simply be like a confirmation email to that person who submits your form. You can also just type in an address. And it will always give you an additional box so that you can send it to more than one person. There is something called advanced branching. And if I can choose this to say favorite subject is equal to math, and then I'm going to put in the math teacher's address, math@email.com is their address. So this is automatically going to copy the math teacher when they fill out this form. And of course I could add additional branches for the other teachers as well. Okay, this is going to give you a place to add CCs. So my form was very simple. It had first name, last name, and email. But I could have included an email box for current teacher, and if they fill that out, I could just simply select that. I could just say, please send it to the current teacher's email address, or I want to send it to the principal for some reason. I could just hard code it as well. Now, this is the subject. So this is, now we've gone to the to address, who it's to, who might get CC'd on this. And I can choose to attach those PDFs I created prior, one or both. Let me add a subject line. And the body. Now I can add in either of these two places. I can click on this and get some of the information that they submitted themselves. So let me just try this. I'm going to click into the body, first name. You can see that sometimes it's a little picky, frankly. But I can put those things down into the lower body. So first name, comma, thank you. Now, I already created that information on a PDF and attached it, but if I decided not to do that, I could simply build the same type of thing out of this information. Save that. I can always go to Show Settings to make modifications to that, but basically my first email is set. And if I want to do additional emails, I could honestly send one back to the person who filled out the form, one to the teachers who were likely to get that student in the next class. You know, I have 4 options here to work with. There is a help button up here. Okay, so that's it for Data Director, and that's it for the add-ons that we're going to look at for Google Forms, although there are many others. And hope you find them useful.